Hello everyone, this is Dr. Mitesh Gala. Welcome to Rough Book, a learning companion.
Alright, I hope all are good, all are safe. Today we are beginning with ratio proportion. So ratio proportion, before we get into the textbook, let's try and understand the basics about ratio and proportion. Important topic from board point of view because you see one question in section A and one in section B. So overall a 6 mark expected questions in the board. So what is a ratio? Anything which is compared with each other. So one quantity divided by the second quantity becomes a ratio. So we'll just keep it very simple. A fraction automatically becomes a ratio. When two fractions A upon B, let's say C upon D, are equal to each other, then the entire thing becomes a proportion. So ratio part, that is your exercise 7A, is no more in your syllabus for standard 10. So we are going to focus more on proportion, that is your exercise 7B. But before we get to the exercise, let's understand some basics about proportion. Now, the type of questions that you are expected in the boards are three major types. The first type is they will ask you find the third proportion or find the fourth proportion. What is that? I will tell you. The second type of question is K method. The third type of question is what should be added or subtracted. This is exercise A. And in exercise B, what you will see is sums based on properties of proportion. So generally in the boards, we see one question on K method or what should be added, subtracted, one of these two. And properties of proportion is a sure shot question in the boards as well. Properties of proportion. So what are these four things? Out of that, this part we will cover in the next video. In this video, we will try and cover these three parts. Before we get into these three parts, we need to understand proportion very well. So firstly, I said proportion is when two ratios are taken together with an equal to sign. That means both ratios are equal. It becomes a proportion. But there are two types of proportion. Type 1 is called as direct proportion. And type 2, obviously not as indirect proportion, they call it as direct proportion and continuous proportion. Now what is this direct and what is this continuous? So in direct proportion, what happens is first number to the second, third to the fourth. All these four numbers are different. Whereas in continuous proportion, the second term repeats itself. So it becomes B by C. That is called continuous proportion. This further can be taken, so C repeats. If further taken, D repeats. But here you will get new numbers each time, nothing repeats. E by F, H by J or G, whatever you want. So any numbers can come here. Now let's first understand the comparison between direct and continuous. When there is direct proportion, let's say one proportion if we pick up, we see 4 terms. Whereas in continuous, we see only 3 terms because the second one is repeated. This is repeating itself. When I cross over here, I will get AD equals BC. But here when I cross, I will get B square is equal to AC. The second term gets squared and this second term is also named as mean proportion. So I will call this as the first term, second term, third term. First, second, third and fourth. If I add one more, then I will have 6 terms. If I add one more, I will have 8 terms. But here if I add one more, I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, only 4 terms. If I add one more, I will have 5 terms. So here the terms increase by 2, here it increases only by 1. Here you will see all even number of terms. Here there can be even or odd. So how to identify whether it is direct or continuous? So when you see 3 terms, you have to understand it is continuous. When you see 5 terms, it has to be continuous because only the odd terms can only be possible in continuous. Whereas in direct, there will be only even number of terms. But if there are 4 terms, then how will we know whether it is direct or continuous? So whether the word mean is used. If the word mean is used, it means it is continuous. Mean is not used, then it can be either of the two, not necessary. But mean clearly specifies it is continuous. Also the second term will be repeated in continuous, but in direct it will not. So I hope we are very clear. If you are still not clear, rewind the video, go through it again. Let's hit with these 3 parts. So what they will do is they will give us 3 terms and they'll ask us the fourth one in direct. In continuous they'll give us two terms and they'll ask us to find the third term. That's what the first part will be. The second part, K method. So here what happens is when A upon B is equal to C upon D, we will take it equal to a constant K. So when you cross multiply, A becomes B into K and C becomes D into K. So that is pretty simple. But here in continuous it becomes slightly different. When I add a constant K, A becomes BK, B becomes CK. This B ka CK can be substituted here in B as CK into K. So I will get CK square. Here no substitution, but here substitution happens. So when these type of sums come, I will tell you and accordingly we will use this. Right now we will focus on the number of terms the first time. So we've got the first question here, which says 4.5, 1.5, 4.5, 3.5 are the 3 terms. Find the fourth proportion. So since none of the terms are repeating and there are 4 proportions, 4 terms, automatically we understand that it is nothing else but direct proportion. So we will say let the fourth term or fourth proportion be x. This is your exercise 7b, sum number 1. As I told you, exercise 7a not there for the portion because ratio is no more there. So we are directly getting into exercise 7b. So 1.5 upon 4.5 because they are in proportion. 3.5 upon x because this one is missing. You cross it. So I'll get x is equal to 4.5 into 3.5 upon 1.5. 1s are 3s are. So my final answer 3 into 3.5 will be 10.5. So I get the value of x. I will write the final answer. Therefore, fourth proportion is 10.5. I hope this becomes very simple for everyone to understand and everyone can manage doing it. Let's go ahead further. The second part 1. You can do part 2 for yourself obviously. I am doing second part 1, which is these two numbers, find the third proportion. Now obviously if there are 3 terms it has to be continuous and the third one is missing. So you will say let the third proportion be x, and the second one repeats itself because you remember continuous proportion. So 3 2s are 6, 7, 8, 8 by 3 divided by 4 and 4 will be repeated by x. So if I cross multiply I will get 8 by 3 x equals to 16. 8 1s are 8 2s are 2 goes on the other side, I get 6. You can write the final statement. Therefore, the third proportion is 6. When you start these sums, I want you to pause the video, try on your own and then go ahead. Likewise, you should be doing with most of the other sums as well. Let's go to this one, 3 part 1. It says find the mean proportion. So mean, as I told you, is the middle number. We already are aware of it. So you will say let the mean proportion be x. So it will be 6 plus 3 root 3 upon x equals to x upon 8 minus 4 root 3. So you cross multiply, it becomes x square, 6 plus 3 root 3 into 8 minus 4 root 3. So I get x square, 6 8s are 48, we are using expansion, 6 4s are 24 root 3, 8 3s are again 24 root 3, plus into minus minus, 4 3s are 12, 12 into 3. So I can directly get 36. This gets cancelled. So x square is 48 minus 36. I hope we've done everything correct. Let's recheck. 8 6 are 48. 6 into this is plus minus minus. This into this is plus and this into this is minus. So 48 minus 36, 12. So my final answer is root 12, or x is equal to that 2 plus minus. Plus minus root 12 can be written as 2 root 3. That is mixed. I hope you know how to convert this. Take factors of 12. 2 6 are, 2 3s are, 3 1s are. Whatever is common comes out, uncommon stays inside. So you can say therefore mean proportion is plus minus 2 root 3. Coming down, question number 4. This is the mean proportion of this and this. So this is the middle term. The moment you see the word mean, the middle term is this one. So x plus 2, x plus 5, mean proportion has to repeat. x plus 9. Your target is to find the value of x. So how are you going to find x? Obviously we will cross multiply and we'll try and get the answer. So x plus 2 into x plus 9 equals to x plus 5 the whole square. Mental math, x square, 9 plus 2 11x and 9 2s are 18. If you can't do it directly, you can open the brackets and the old method of expansion. X square, here the formula I am applying, a square b square 2ab. This gets cancelled straight away. 10 comes this side, so only x. 25 minus 18, so 7. So I got the value of x. So they had asked me to find x, we found x. I hope you are clear with this. I hope you are stopping the video, doing the sum on your own and then checking whether your answer is correct or not. I would really appreciate if most of you are able to do it on your own without looking into the video. Let's go to the next one. Before we go to 7, I want you to go to sum number 8 first. So sum number 8 is similar to sum number 6. Sum number 8 says what should be subtracted from 7, 17 and 47 so that they are in continuous proportion. So that they are in continued proportion. So continued proportion and 3 terms. So obviously the second one will repeat. What should be subtracted? So we said a be subtracted and then these will be the numbers. So I will get 7 minus a upon 17 minus a. This one will repeat itself and 47 minus a. I will cross them. So 7 minus a into 47 minus a. 17 minus a the whole square. 7 7s are 49, 7 32, so 329 minus 7a minus 47a plus a square. 289, that is a square, b square, 2ab. So a square gets cancelled. Now both a's together, minus 47 minus 7, so minus 54a. Getting this on the other side, so plus 34a. 289 minus 329. So here the difference is minus 20a and over here the difference is minus 40. So I get my answer as 2. Once you get the answer, you are bound to write the final answer. Therefore, a, which is equal to 2, or you can directly say 2 should be subtracted. I have seen in the boards while correcting in the correction that when this word or this line is not written, people have deducted 1 mark. So see to it you write the final answer. Exactly similar is sum number 6. What should be added? So you will say let a be added to the numbers 6, 15, 20 and 43. So when we add 6 plus a, 15 plus a, 20 plus a and 45 plus a. 43 plus a. Your target is what should be added. So pause the video, try it, get your answer. Okay, before you go ahead, 1 minute, very important. Here, what should be subtracted? 7 minus a. I have seen people writing a minus 7, 17 minus 7. Instead of that, they write a minus 17. Here they write a minus 47. If you do this, the entire sum will go wrong. Because whatever has to be added or subtracted should come in the end. Please keep that in mind. Let us cross here. 6 plus a, 43 plus a is equal to 20 plus a, 15 plus a. So what will I get? 6 into 3, 18, 25 plus 6a, 43a, so 49a plus a square. On this side 20 into 15, so 300 plus 35a plus a square. Again a square gets cancelled. 35 comes here, so 14a. 300 minus 258, so should be 42. So therefore my answer for a should be 3. Final answer, therefore 3 should be added. Please see to it you write this final answer, otherwise you will have 1 mark deducted straight away. Now that we are done with this, let's go on to the next one. I want everyone to try sum number 7 part 1. Just go through the sum. 7 part 1. Okay. So 7 part 1 I have kept it over here below. 7 part 1 says prove this where A, B and C are in continuous proportion. So when A, B and C are in continuous proportion, that time we write A upon B equals to B upon C. Now we've got two choices here. Choice number 1, we can continue with the K method. Choice number 2, we can do it direct. I would prefer whenever there is continuous proportion, we would do it directly. And whenever there is direct proportion, then we can use the K method. But in this particular question, it's better to use the K method. So here A becomes BK and B becomes CK. This CK I can substitute for B. So A becomes CK into K, CK square. So for A I will substitute CK square and for B I will substitute CK. So let us pick up the LHS. I will get A square plus B square, B bracket A plus C. So A is CK square, the whole square, and B is just CK, the whole square. Again B is CK and A is BK. Sorry, A we will take it as CK square plus C. So here what happens is I will get C square K4, C square K square, C, I am pulling one C common. So this C becomes square into K. Here what will be left is K square plus 1. Here numerator C square common, K square common. So what is left is K square plus 1. Denominator C square K, K square plus 1. This gets cancelled, only 1 K is left. Yeah. Likewise you can try the RHS. Pause the video, try on your own and then come back. I am 100% sure on this side also you will get the value as K only. So B substituted as CK, A CK square plus C. Again B C square K square plus C square. I am pulling C common, so C square K, K square plus 1 left. Here also C square common, K square plus 1 left. Cancels, cancel. I get K and therefore I can say LHS equals RHS. Once again let's repeat the start. Many people get stuck here only. A is BK and B is CK. But this CK I can push in the terms of B here. So I get CK square. So wherever there is A we will substitute this. Wherever there is B we will substitute this. On substituting both sides will become same and therefore we can say LHS equals RHS. 7 part 3. Again we are using the K method. This time they say direct proportion and this is what we need to prove. So A becomes BK and C becomes DK. Come on, pause the video, go ahead, take LHS, solve it, take RHS, solve it. Both have to be same. I am 100% sure most of you all will get it. So A I am substituting as BK cube. So both cube, B cube as well as K cube. C is DK only. Put it in brackets so that we can multiply. Again A is BK but C is DK. So D cube, K cube in brackets. Denominators everything is B and D. We don't have anything of B and D. So just keep it as it is. At the max what we can do is we can pull out 1B and 1D common. So here will be left is B square. Here what will be left is D square. Here when I merge them I will get B cube D K4. Here I will get B D cube K4 upon BD B square plus D square. Pulling things common here 1B, 1D and K4. So what is left is B square plus D square upon BD B square plus D square. Cancels, BD cancels, the leftover is just K4. Exactly same we are going to do with the RHS, which is A plus C raised to 4, B plus D raised to 4. So my A is BK and C is DK, the whole thing raised to 4, and here B plus D raised to 4. Don't open this, just pull K common. So I will get b plus d, and the whole thing raised to 4. So give 4 to this and to this, upon b plus d raised to 4. Cancels, k4. So again I can say my LHS equals to RHS. Yeah, I'm sure this is going to be very simple, the K method. That's the second thing that I was talking about. So the first type of question is find the third proportion, fourth proportion. Second type, what should be added or subtracted, we did that. The third one, the K method. We'll take few more sums in order to understand. This is the second type, what should be subtracted or what should be added, the K method. And initially we did the third and the fourth proportion. Now what we are going to do is we will take few more sums of proportion, the K method, in order to solve and practice more. So we are on question number 10. Question number 10 says Q is the mean proportion between P and R. So if Q is the mean proportion, so P upon Q, Q upon R. Two choices, K method, but in this K method is going to be difficult because there is no denominator to cancel. So another method is, instead of K, we will just cross and say Q square equals PR. And wherever there is PR, we can substitute Q square, or wherever there is Q square, we will substitute as PR. So I am beginning with the LHS. PQR, P plus Q plus R. Pause the video, try it. Wherever there is PR, substitute it as Q square. See if you can reach your RHS directly. If you can't, come back then. So PR, for the clue, P into R can be written as Q square into this Q. P plus Q plus R, I am keeping it as it is intact. So this becomes Q cube. P plus Q plus R cube. Now this is also cube, this is also cube. So I can take Q, P plus Q plus R, the whole cube. Yeah, this is the most important step for this sum. Open the brackets. PQ. Wow, we already reached the first part. Q square, not there, but I have the term, that is Q square can be written as PR. QR, that also is there over here, QR. So I got the first and the second, the whole Q. PQ, Q square, I am writing it as PR plus QR. Yeah, now we matched our RHS. So I can say RHS is also the same. PQ, PR, QR, the whole cube. Therefore LHS equals RHS. One small error, I forgot to write reasons. Wherever I am substituting, I need to mention Q square is equal to PR, and here also we substituted it, so mention it. So please write the reasons so that no one can cut your marks. It's going to be very simple if you use the Q square, but had you used K method, it would have been very difficult or rather impossible to solve it that way. So try it this way. The next one, sum number 13. 13, they've given this, and A upon B equals to C upon D is what we need to work here. So now for this one, you can definitely use the K method. I repeat, whenever it is continuous, continuous means like this, then do direct. But wherever it is direct method, then in that case use K. So here I'll have A is equal to BK and C is equal to DK. I pick my LHS, A minus C B square, B minus D CD. So A becomes BK, C becomes DK into B square. Denominator B I can't do anything, D I can't do anything, C I can substitute as DK into D. Further, I can pull K common, so B minus D left. Here I can write this as D square K, and inside I'll have B minus D. Cancels, cancels. So what is left is just B square upon D square. Likewise RHS, let's work it out. A square B square AB upon C square minus D square minus CD. So A can be written as BK, so B square K square minus B square. Again A is BK into B, so B square K. Denominator C is D square K square, D square. C is DK into D, so D square K. I can pull B square common. So what is left is K square, nothing over here, and here K. I can pull D square common, so K square, nothing left 1, and here again K. cancels b square by d square. So therefore I can say LHS equals RHS. How many hands go up who could manage to do this without seeing the video? Yeah, good job. Obviously I am missing school. Sum number 16. Let's focus. Few more sums, so that 2 more sums rather, 16, 17. So we are done with this then. Again, K method, because it is direct proportion. This is going to be very simple. So here P will be QK, R will be SK. So pick your LHS, substitute M as it is, but P can be written as QK. N as it is, Q also as it is. Nothing can be done upon Q. I can pull Q common, MK plus N upon Q cancels. So MK plus N is what I get. I don't know if this is correct. Let's try the other side. If doesn't work, then we'll see how to manipulate. So M, nothing, R, SK, NS upon S. So I pull common, that is S. So MK plus N upon S cancels, MK plus N. So we are lucky. So LHS equals RHS. Yeah, how many of you all could finish it before me? Great. Last sum number 17. Again direct proportion. So P by Q, R by S equals K. So P is QK, R is SK. LHS. Oh, there is no LHS. Sorry. This is my bad. We've been given this and this, and we need to prove that P upon Q equals to R upon S. That way is the question. So what can we do is, we can take this first part, either make R as the subject and substitute everything here, or make Q as the subject and substitute everything here. And then using both of them we might reach here, possible question. Or we can even make M as the subject. Yeah, let's make M as the subject. So I take the first part, P plus R, MQ. There is no other method except for making M as the subject, because we don't need M. So if M is the subject, P plus R upon Q equals M. Now I take the second part, 1 by Q, 1 by S, M by R. So 1 by Q, 1 by S. For M, I will write this entire thing, that is P plus R upon Q into 1 upon R. This R is from here into 1 by R. Now we'll have to solve this in such a way that we reach here. Okay, actually I finished the sum and the video stopped. So I'm sorry, just adding it again. I already solved it, so just explaining it once again. We reached here in the previous part, 1 plus R. After that, this has to be multiplied. Here we are taking the LCM. Cancel Q and then redistribute this. So S upon S, Q upon S, P upon R, R upon R. Everything cancels. So 1, 1. 1 also cancels because it becomes minus 1. This comes here. Send Q down, R up. We can always do that, change. And therefore P ratio Q, R ratio S. That's what our final answer is. Yeah, slightly tricky question. First make M as your subject for this part. Substitute this M in this part. LCM. Cancel Q. Split. Cancel 1, 1. Alternando is what we call when Q comes up and Q comes down and R goes up. And therefore in the ratio form, because that's what is asked. I want you to do these remaining sums as homework. 1, 1. 2 part 2, 3 part 2, 5, 12 and 15. So until then, when we meet again in the next video, please stay safe and please do your work on regular basis. Thank you, bye.
Hope you had a lovely mathematics experience with the Rough Book, our learning companion.